You're welcome.
I'm Bill Owens, and I want to see you around. I haven't seen one in 60 years.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Thanks for having us over today.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I'm Gary King. Very nice to meet you.
What's the name?
King. And I don't know, did you ever hear of Jeremiah King, the blacksmith on Mount Olive?
No. I'd like to know more about him.
Well, he died in 45, so you were a youngster then, weren't you? He had built...
You done a pretty good job.
Hello
there, buddy.
He had built a ram pump himself and pumped water across the road there to his place.
I'm waiting till everybody gets up here. I still got people coming out of cars.
That old road there on Mount Olive is a continental divide. So he made a joke he was pumping water from the Atlantic to the Pacific. Yeah, you know where the...
I used to go up on the mountain.
Yeah, you know the Osteen's up there. Probably.
I knew some Mavens up there.
Mavens down the other end.
We know all those Mavens, don't we?
There's a bunch of them.
I was accused of going to see one of the Maven girls. But I didn't find out till later he sold liquor. And I wasn't after his liquor, you know. But, boy, this is a nice crowd.
It is.
Well, while I think we just got a few other people coming up.
I paid for it.
Where's Lisa? All right. This is Mr. Larry Ball. He said I couldn't call him Mr. Ball.
No,
He's got to call him Larry. Now, we don't want him doing a whole lot of stressful walking, so I'm going to let him do the water ram. He's hooking up this so you can actually see a water ram and see how it works, okay? While you're talking to him about that, that's the original Curb Market sign hanging right there. You look at all these old implements, they're original. You go in this place in here, and you're going to faint. Take your time, look around. You're not going to believe what you see. I'm not even going to try to tell you what you're going to see. Now, if we had him do the tour, we would be here for 2 days. So we can't do that. So I want you to let him talk to you about the water ram, then look around here, take your pictures. Then we're going to leave because we got to go back up to see the log cabins in the house, okay?
Good.
And we're an hour behind schedule. And we're getting hungry.
Everything's normal.
All right, so Mr. Ball, you tell him about this water ram and stuff.
I had some paperwork on this, and actually I couldn't find it. Been easier to show you, I guess. This is the French come up with this water ram. The British improved on it, and the U.S. perfected it. Let's say that's your reservoir up on the side of the mountain.
From the stream or the creek.
The water falls to under here. It causes this valve to go up. And when it does that, it shuts off the water here. It forces the water up under this globe here, and there's another valve in there. The force of the water going into here closes that valve. When both valves are closed, there's pressure on this globe with water in it. And it would come out that green hose and go up to that spigot. It's really, it's simple. I guess that's the reason I like it. But okay, let me cut the water on. And the reason for these is keep leaves. If you get trash in it, you're in trouble. But I had my knees fixed, I thought. Maybe I was sitting here, Larry? Now, I'll turn the water on it. I think I cut it off. I won't give it too much. You've got to balance it out. Okay, we'll try it right there. Now, do you see the plug in to the little electric pump? Yeah. Plug
Right
it
here?
in there. Now, the first show I went to, you have to use this electric pump because you lose half your water. Out in the real world, you wouldn't have this pump. There's no more drunk and he's arguing with my guys, using a few words. So I took the pump out, unplugged it, and set it over to you. He says, "Oh, damn thing still no good." So that was his opinion of it. So now it should be ready if it's going to. There's your water. Now that doesn't look like a lot of water, but it's a gallon a minute. In 24 hours, what, 15 gallons, maybe not that much. If you got, they put their source up on above the house where they want to gather the water, and then let it gravity flow back to the house. I'm setting pump like that, so if something gets in it, maybe close it up. That's the reason we got these swings on it, leaves and some stuff getting in.
It's the closest thing to perpetual motion you'll ever see.
Closest thing to it.
Yep.
All the pump is doing is overflow, the waste is pumping back in the tank.
Yeah, this picks up your waste, we'll call it, and puts it back. If it didn't do that, we'd run out of our source. Now, like I said, out in the real world, you just let it run, because you're getting half of it for nothing anyhow.
Having it down in the creek, I mean, the creek just runs anyway. You know, you don't have to worry about a little pump like
I
that.
thought it was coming in spurts. It was pretty.
I know one show I went to, this old fella, couple walking up to me, he had 2 canes. That was a rough time. Now I said, "Come over here and sit down." Talk to me. And he said, "Papa bought Mama one of these rams and said, put it up to the tank up above the house." He said it overflowed and it come down through Mama's kitchen sink, and where it come out of the sink, he was having a trough down through there. And that's where it could be nothing but it.
How about
Yeah.
that?
Refrigerator, right?
Wow.
But that's brass against brass. That makes more racket, more noise than there's nothing over there.
There's a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
Mr. McDaniel used to make me the turtle soup. And he'd always bring me, you know, worked over in Doncaster, and he'd always bring me a thermos full of turtle soup when he'd make it.
Yeah.
Wonderful man.
Where was this?
This was at GE, and I was there from 74 to 87.
When you mentioned slitter, we had a few of them that we put.
Okay, yeah. These guys, we got these huge coils of metal,
Oh,
and they would slit it to size so we could run it through the presses.
Mm-hmm.
And that was with Garland King?
Quite a setup, sir.
It's that big old trough or ditch, whatever.
You had to get within half a thousand
Yeah.
Wow.
to cut that steel.
Yeah, you sure did, man. This was exacting work.
That'd be right. Yeah.
Because they had those carbide dies that they'd run that stuff through.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. So you're looking good.
I'm glad you told me who you was.
Well, I knew it as soon I said that name, as soon as I saw you, I knew who you were. Good to see you. I want to see what you got over here.
This thing doesn't have the tuning fork. It doesn't have the tuning fork on it. Has it got a spring that's pushing? Or just the weight?
Well, see, that's high tech. See, that's a rubber band. That's to keep it from going down as far. You don't want it to go too far.
Okay.
And I found out that's the easiest way just to wrap rubber band.
Real high tech, huh? Rubber band. My.
Say like if you wanted a shorter stroke, you just get it down a
Sure.
little bit.
There you go.
And tell you the truth, it wouldn't you wouldn't have as much wastewater.
I don't know why these things don't catch on again.
Excuse me, wet hand.
This is just
Free energy.
get rid of the water that's
Makes you wonder just how smart we are.
Container for the water to go into?
Yeah.
probably higher
Oh,
than
you got a water
the
line.
No, we don't
No,
have
we don't
one.
have one, but-
I mean, the house, you're trying to get water to the house, right? So the house would have a,
Reservoir.
You have a
Reservoir.
storage tank
Yep.
above the
Right.
highest level in the house.
Well, to get to a house, you got to go down to get up.
Mm-hmm.
You got, so
You gotta have fall.
Have a fall with
The
it,
head coming to it.
and that creates the pressure, which is not great pressure, but it moves the water. And,
So you got a creek at your house?
No, but you put this in a creek.
Right. Is there a creek at your house? That's what I'm asking. There's not.
Not a steady creek.
Yeah.
I get tickets from these years and years ago. The old cone hunters would come up, you know, and they'd say, water in the. They said, we heard that cone hunting last night and didn't know what it was.
The black creek.
Most people never heard of them.
With this, going back from this way, the head pressure, the weight of the water coming back 6 foot. You have to push the diaphragm one way, and then I guess the spring or weight is pushing it back the other way.
Yeah, it's compression. This compression here is what moves it.
Okay, that's closed off.
See, like I said, when this closes, it comes up in here. And then it shuts the other valve that's on the bottom. The split second when they're both closed, it's got to go somewhere so it go up the green hose.
Is there a limit on how high you can raise the water from the ground? Is there a limit on how high you can raise the water?
Foot of fall, 10 feet. If it's 10 feet of fall, it'll pump 100 feet. I know that sounds like a lie, but I've seen it.
Oh, yeah. It'll do it, yeah.
Sounds like a lot.
My dad bought one off of Old Farmer's Market Bulletin down below Atlanta, Georgia, where he moved from here. And it was made out of PVC. And we had a good creek down below the old house where I was raised in down there. But, I mean, it was a good 60 feet in elevation below where the house was. And he went upstream and built a dam and ran his pipe from that dam down to his round pump and pumped all the way up the hill and watered his garden with one of these all summer long.
Do you ever do the demonstrations at the Ag Center during the county fair?
Yeah, I'm always there. We
I
have,
think I've seen you there.
our club has a tent there, and we're always outside.
I'm very food conscious. And they're waiting on us. Yeah, I've got a call about no reception here, so I'm gonna wait like make sure I have these things
What year is it, you see?
It's a 29, according to the license.
29? Yeah.
According to the license plate.
With no.
Well, that's an international. Look at that.
Because it's got a crank in the front.
Yeah.
That's looks like fully restored.
Yeah, it does.
Old coffee, go ahead, 8 o'clock coffee.
I took this picture for Opal because she.
She likes the moon pie, yeah?
She wasn't kidding me about this place.
Oh, no. She told it the way it is.
Yeah. We'll never want to leave. Do something else.
Wow, look at the tools. Oh my.
Something else.
Oh my.
The aristocratic pig family, her daily
I could get lost and live for hours.
I could live in here.
Fascinating.
Look at that original picture of Flatt and Scruggs at Carnegie Hall.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Jenny's trying to get us out of here and up to the house.
Look at this old half-inch drill.
See what the house to go
Have you been in yet?
Here we go.
Can you believe this
Something from
vehicle?
opium. Powder from opium.
You see all the old photos of all those stores in Hendersonville?
Yeah.
They're great. The people, there's Daryl McMurray for per chair. They're not. Old stores, old cabins, all this.
We're going next up the house.
I guess.
Yeah.
Get out of your way.
See what these bottles say? Morphine.
Right there on that shelf.
Can you ma-
Form for
You
opiate.
need to get that.
Whoa.
That's very
I didn't
clear.
get
That's a whole lot of morphine now. Good gracious.
So you need to get back to put those on your
Okay, I will.
extremely important photos. In the history of
Old
Henderson.
post office there.
Look at him, and he's got Blue Ridge, Oleta, Saginaw. What's
Wow.
Decatur? That was on Big Hungry.
I guess that's when you wanted to mail it to that place.
Yeah, yeah. Long time before zip codes, huh?
Brake shoes. DuPont Zeros. We had that. The guy gave me that when I worked at service station. Alcohol.
Look, it's a low water wheel. Somebody's made this.
Yep.
That's nice.
Wheel weight. Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Mover.
All the old signs, boy. He realized it was wise to get those while the getting was good, didn't he?
Granny woman, cabin. This is Frank Gillum's steel.
Right.
This is the Ankie Phillips cabin. That's a smokehouse, but I can't remember where he got it from. That house is his house that he built himself, and all the wood and all the stoves are from buildings torn down here in Henderson County. And when you go in that house, you will think you have paid $20 to go into a museum.
I missed the
levels.
beginning. Say again, the Dr. Polly house.
This is the Granny Doctor, Dr. Polly King Justice log cabin, and her husband.